Hello everyone. In this podcast, we are going to discuss the importance of agriculture, the challenges associated with it in the present geopolitical perspective, and in the later part of the podcast, we are also going to discuss the good practices and various initiatives that can be used during answering any agriculture related questions in the mains 2023. There are some challenges which have been discussed into the recently concluded G20 Agriculture Ministerial Meet in Hyderabad. Here we have to quote that collectively in the global south, 30% of GDP is related to agriculture and it provides 60% of the jobs. And if we talk about specifically for India, more than 50% of the jobs are in the agricultural sector, and although the contribution of the GDP is very much less compared to the global south. But the questions come into the mind that why agriculture is important. So we are going to go into the deep into some other perspective that why agriculture is so much important. First and foremost, if we can quote Food and Agriculture Organization and its data that 800 million people go to the bed hungry, and Sustainable Development Goal number 1 is talks about zero hunger. So, and at the same time, we are producing food enough to feed 10 billion people. Still, there are 800 million people who are going to the bed hungry. So, this is the paradox that we can quote. The second important thing is the rural economics. As we know that most of the agricultural productions happen in the rural area, so rural prosperity is invariably linked to the agricultural productivity. So if agricultural productivity is high, then it can shoot three targets with one arrow. The first one being rural poverty. The standard of the life of the rural people increases. The second one is it can check the rural to urban migration in the search of jobs. And at the same time, if we could include the nutritional food into the agricultural production, then we can also address malnutrition at the root level in India and in the global south, as for to say. Now the third reason why agriculture is important is because its association with the climate action. For example, if we take the example of the rice production result into methane production, and at the same time it consumes a lot of water, which is in very scarce quantity today in the world. So if we replace rice with other crops such as pulses and millets, they are very beneficial for the environment. They help in regeneration capacity of the soil and also fixes nitrogen and make the soil productive. So it is in a way fighting the climate change which is happening, as these are the millets and the pulses requires low amount of water, and also they fix nitrogen. As we all know, this is the International Year of the Millets at the behest of India in United Nations. So the millets are hardy crops that can withstand the high temperatures and high drought situations. So they are climate resilient crops. So if we include these kind of crops into the agriculture production, we can fight climate change. And the fourth one is Sustainable Development Goals. As we have discussed in the above challenges, each and every field related to agriculture is addressing the sustainable development of any population or global south, for to say. So agriculture is important in fighting various sustainable development goals, just like poverty, hunger, climate action, such and so forth. Now here is the value addition. In addition to all those points discussed above, we can quote the global fertilizer supply chain, which is being disturbed by the war between Russia and Ukraine, and its effect on the fertilizer subsidy given in India. As we can quote from the Economic Survey 2022 that the fertilizer subsidy has crossed the mark of 1 lakh crore rupees consistently for the last 2 years. So, from the geopolitical perspective, agriculture is subjected to geopolitical tensions. And we can quote Russia-Ukraine war in this context, and the resultant increase in the price of fertilizer given in India and the subsidy given to it. So there are various ways in tackling those challenges and issues. Here I am going to discuss few solutions and the possible way forward in tackling the issues with agriculture. The first and foremost is investing in rural agriculture economies, which is dominated by small scale farmers. As we know, with the help of cooperatives and farmer producer organizations, the small scale farmer can also attain the economies of scale. But at the same time, we have to address the problems faced by small scale farmers, such as access to credit, market, technology, infrastructure, and information. These all can be done by various methods, and it has been done in various government schemes, such as Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which is making insurance attractive for small scale farmers, so they can be prevented in the face of calamities which are facing in the today's world. For example, pest attacks, cyclones, drought. And to tackle the geopolitical tensions in fertilizer supply, the nano urea has been introduced, which is indigenously developed by IFFCO, which has the potential to reduce the fertilizer import dependency in India. Now there are also the WTO subsidy constraints on the MSP given to the rice and wheat. Recently there has been discussion in a WTO, but as we all know, there are 3 boxes: green box, amber box, and blue box. Now there is an escape clause to provide subsidies for food security, but it is limited only to wheat and rice. But if we want to tackle the problem of malnutrition, we have to include other crops into this fold of MSP. So we have to move away from wheat and rice, and the need is not only for the domestic production but also global trade. Now there are some good practices for agricultural production which can be quoted in mains answer. For example, the first one is the direct seeding of the rice technique, which uses low amount of water, low amount of electricity in irrigation. It result into water saving and minimizing the methane production from the rice. But we have seen in the Punjab and the Haryana that the people who have accepted DSR method are now opting out of it, because it is the technology associated with the DSR, the machine required is not up to the standards, because it plants from row to row, and the machine doesn't get the plant distances right. So the farmers are opting out of it. We have to address these challenges in order to get the greater acceptability of the DSR seeding in paddy production. And the second reason would be that there are heavy subsidization of, let me say it more correctly, that there are greater subsidies given in the electricity and water. So farmer is not getting enough incentive to opt for DSR technique. Now again we can again quote another good practice, an article which has been published in Indian Express about revolution in chana and moong, which are pulses and good for the climate and also for the nutritional perspective. Specifically for chana, the scientists developed the short varieties breeding, which are attractive for farmers. For example, in chana, the NAFED has developed short breeding variety which can be reaped in 100 to 120 days, vis-a-vis 100 to 140 to 150 days. So it is attractive for the farmers. And moong, and similar thing has been done for the moong also. The moong can be growth in both kharif and rabi season, and there has been new variety of moong which is called photothermo sensitive variety, which can withstand the higher temperature and low water and still have greater productivity than the traditional moong. Additionally, the MSP increase in both of these pulses has been more than 200%. That is why the farmers are finding it very attractive and going for its production. So in this video we have discussed the various issues, the challenges associated with the agriculture in present environment, and also in the later part of the audio we have discussed how to tackle those challenges and what are the challenges in the solutions itself that we can address. Thank you.